Just about 8 minutes before the hour of 7 o'clock. Welcome back to the Now Morning Show. It is our Monday edition, and on Mondays we are joined by the TTPS in the form of Inspector Michelle Lewis. Inspector, good morning.
Good morning, Kimberly. Good morning, Rakan.
How are you doing, Inspector?
Good. Happy Monday to you.
Happy Monday to you as well. I love the calming presence Inspector is bringing.
Because she knows what she coming to talk about. That's why she knows exactly what she's going to cause here this morning.
Inspector, so let's jump right Omission as Actus Reus. Please break that down for us. What does that mean?
Sure. So in the commission of any criminal offense, there are two key ingredients, actus reus and mens rea. So the actus reus is actually the act to commit a criminal offense, right? Mm-hmm. And the mens rea is the mind, the mental ability to be able to do it. You think about it and then you execute it, you actually do. So the actus reus is the act. In this case, we're looking at the omission of the actus reus, which is still a criminal offense, and you can still be liable in court for not acting to save the life of someone or in the commission of a criminal offense.
Give us an example.
I know, so we need to break that down a little bit because
let me break
what
it down
I hear you saying there is damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Right, so let me break it down a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, let me take one that a lot of people come on with, sexual offenses against a child.
Right.
Right, so the law, the Sexual Offences Act, Chapter 1128, mandates that if you believe that a child is sexually active or you have suspicion or reasonable cause to believe that this child is sexually active, you, by law, have to report it to the police.
You by law as a relative, you by law as a neighbor,
as
or
a doctor,
a
teacher, anybody.
Once you're aware of the situation.
Once you are aware, right? You have reasonable, I mean, it's not malicious. You have sufficient reasonable ground to believe that this child is sexually active, and any minor who's sexually active, you know, it's a criminal offense because a child cannot give consent, right? And you fail to act, you fail to make the report, you can be charged for failing to report, right? There are instances also, so that's one example. There's another example where, for example, a parent leaves a child in your care. Let's say the child, you were by the swimming pool or something like that, because we're in July, August vacation period, and the parent tell you just, but your child says, I'm going to the washroom. And the child is in water in difficulty. And you fail to act in terms of saving that child or pulling that child out of the water, and that child drowns. You, even though you fail to act, can be charged, can be liable for manslaughter.
Even if you can't swim?
But if it is, you can swim. So you have to prove, the police now have to prove that under the circumstances you were not a swimmer.
Right.
Right? The level of water that the child was on, even if you were to stand in it, you could have saved the child, because there are some pools that the water is just this, but if a child is in it, the child can drown.
Of course.
So therefore, the ingredients will have to prove that you could not, you were incapable of assisting. Right. But that will come out in the investigation of the police officer. So we have a lot of times in the country, persons are seeing things happening and knowing of something happening and recuse themselves or fail to act to prevent a criminal offense from taking place. So when you look at that now, persons think, well, okay, well, you know, it's not my business, as you were saying, drink water and mind my business. It's not always legal, legitimate, and that you cannot be charged when investigation process takes place.
So I imagine that there are always complications to this, and there are little details that would make this go one way or the other. For example, you're saying the investigative process is one of them, right?
Yes.
So if it is a situation where in the past I have offered assistance or I've helped a situation, let's say a neighbor, child, I see them on the road and you know, I try to help them, and I have been then abused by said neighbor. Right? Because you know that happens. Don't talk to my child, so don't touch my child, or whatever. We see situations like that all the time. So the next time I see this child in danger, I drink in water and minding my business. But you're saying now that I can still be charged for that.
Yeah, if it is any child, so a criminal offense. So you spoke about, for example, let's say the child was talking to somebody or something like that, which may not necessarily consider a criminal offense.
No. I mean, like the child is in danger. Let's say you have a drain nearby or whatever, and you see the child blowing close to the drain, and you pull them back from the drain because you know what, them get in trouble, and you send them home. And the next time the child parents come and say, hey, don't think rough up my child, whatever the case is. So the next time you see this child go into the area of danger, you leave them alone.
So the parent is of a sound mind that you prevented a child from danger and is taking that approach with you.
Inspector,
No, I'm asking. I just want to get it
have
clear.
irrational people
No,
around.
I just want to get it clear because sometimes
that's
the parent may not be, you may not have explained yourself, so the parent is not of the understanding.
And
that
some people
this
don't
is
want to
what
hear
you
that.
did.
And some people don't want to hear that. They hear their child's version of the story, and that's what they're going with. Right? So in that situation where you say, all right, I want to avoid future conflict with this situation, and I see that child in danger again or close to danger again, and I say, well, no, last time I do that, I was abused for it, so I go in my way. You're saying that in that situation, I can still be charged with some sort of offense?
Right, so I'm saying that according to the law, where you fail to act in the commission of an offense against someone, and the evidence prove that you were capable of assisting in the that a criminal offense would not have occurred, you can be charged.
Inspector, I want to ask about the age of this, because you mentioned it is the July-August vacation, and so a 15-year-old is seeing his 6-year-old or 5-year-old sibling in danger. Is he or she also going to be charged under this act?
No,
is that going to happen? Right.
No, so a minor under the age of, so anybody under the age of 18 is a minor. So that person shouldn't even be allowed to supervise a child in the first place, right? But they're talking about an adult, and it could be an adult, it could be an adult, a child.
Right.
It's once you are capable of, based on the situation and the circumstances, and you fail to act. So if it is that you are not a swimmer, the person is in sea drowning, well, of course you can't assist because you are unable to do. If someone, for example, is a firearm and you are not. But let's say, for example, you have a police officer in plain clothes, or you have a prison officer in plain clothes, and you have officers who have licensed firearm with someone else, and you fail to act, you can be charged.
As an officer?
And quote-unquote off duty, yes.
Yeah, you can be charged as well.
You can be charged.
Yeah.
Because you are trained to assist life, and yes, you are.
So it had no off days, really?
No, so our salary doesn't allow for it. No, but but so you fail to act.
Yes.
You fail to act, and you are able to.
Yes.
And you fail to act. So whether you're army officer or prison officer or anybody in the national security or law enforcement agency, and you know to yourself that you are armed, right? Other persons would know, and you see the situation and you fail to assist in the death of someone, you can be charged.
So, Inspector, Actus Reus is another Actus. Actus?
It's menswear and Actus wear. Those are the two main ingredients in the commission of a
thinking
criminal
about
offense.
it and doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So thinking about it, can you give us an example of thinking about it where this person has failed to act in that situation?
So in this case, we're looking at the Actus Reus.
Only?
The Actus, so you fail to act.
Yeah.
Right? In the menswear, it's not because the menswear will be in the commission of an offense. But in this case, you fail to assist, you fail to render aid, you fail to intervene. There's a portion of the Police Service Act where, for example, if a police officer is in distress, let's say an officer is out there and he doesn't have the support of other officers there, and the officer call upon you to assist, and you are able to, based on the circumstance, and you fail to assist, then you can also be charged. That's also a section in law in Trinidad and Tobago where if a police officer calls on a civilian to assist, and that civilian fails to assist, there's a charge for it.
Inspector, I have a question. How much time does the police charge people for this?
For failing to assist?
For fail, not just assist, just for failing to act in general.
The Actus Reus.
I don't have the, because I really don't have the data, because it wouldn't be the offense wouldn't be that. The offense would be manslaughter in the case of someone's death.
So with the omission of Actus Reus, you can still, omission as Actus Reus, sorry, you can still be charged for manslaughter.
Yes, you can.
For not doing anything.
Right. So
it depends on the crime.
Yes, so it depends on the crime.
Yeah.
So the evidence in court will show what you failed to do, but you will be charged for a criminal offense.
For whatever the outcome was.
Yes.
Even though you didn't do anything.
Correct.
You failed to act.
Correct. So therefore, it would be difficult for me to say that this offense was as a result of someone failing to act.
But we do have examples of it actually happening where people get charged for failing to act.
Yes. But for me to tell you how much is the, and the duration, I'll be unable to say.
At least I've now, yeah. Failing to act. I mean,
Yeah,
because I know we were talking about it off air, Inspector, the incident with the child who was seen walking along the roadway, right? And I think the child eventually died, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And we didn't hear anything about it after that. The mother wasn't charged. It seemed, I could be wrong, the mother wasn't charged. The neighbor who saw the child walking wasn't charged. And so was there no omission as Actus Reus in that situation?
Right. So in that case, it's not, could we talk about it just before? And I can't remember all the details in terms of how the investigation concluded, if it has in fact concluded or whether the matter went to court. But I do remember that one of the neighbors did see the child walking.
Yeah.
And I think the child was found in water or something.
In the
like
river.
that.
In the
Right.
river.
So at the point in time, and I don't recall all the details, but at the point in time when the neighbor saw the child, perhaps the neighbor was not aware that the child was in imminent danger, the child was going to die, or that there wasn't someone close by, like, 50 feet behind the child, because from the reports that came out, the neighbor didn't think that the child was,
Was in danger.
And then, so the police will have to prove that this person actually knew that this and watch the child go to death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have to prove that.
I mean, Inspector, I want you to be honest for a second, right? Does the police have all the resources it needs to be able to investigate all these things properly?
When you say resource, you mean human resource?
All of the resources required to do an investigation like this.
So one of these things that continues to be of challenge to most organizations, as you know, is the human resource. The police service is a service-oriented organization. So where you don't have sufficient manpower in any one of the unit sections, branches, or division, it will impact
Every investigation.
It will impact every investigation because we have, unfortunately, we have a high rate of criminal offences being conducted, and reports such as homicides is an extensive investigation. Sexual offences against children, like penetration and stuff like that, that's an extensive investigation. So where you have, like, for example, you would have had 3 homicides over this weekend, the amount of resources going to take to investigate that, sometimes you have an officer, as a report happens or incident happens, something comes again. So the resource, the human resource in particular, is where I see most that we definitely need to augment.
Yeah, but is it, so as we were talking about the different offences, do you believe that setting up these different units can assist in terms of the gender-based violence to help kind of speed up the investigation process?
Yes, and it has been.
Yeah.
It has been. It really has been. The homicide, as you know, because a lot of the investigators in homicides, some of the officers that came from CID and went into homicide who would have have that training from CID, investigative training, and have gone across it. Persons in child protection unit would have gotten special training, special victims department, how to interview a child, forensic interview, and that kind of thing. So instead of the child having to go here and there, and then the bad reports that come out, you just send the child directly to the unit, or the person directly to the unit, and they take the investigation from there, and they know, who to connect to, which agency, and all them kind of things. So we want to encourage persons that failing to act is a criminal offense.
Yeah.
Right? And it is not that, you see something, we say if you see something, say something, yes, but we also want you to be responsible, and where you can assist and help to intervene. Call the police, stay on the phone with the police, tell us as much as you can, because that is also helping. That is your way of assisting, because you might not want to put yourself in danger depending on the situation. But we really want to encourage persons in Trinidad and Tobago to help. It is our country. We have to do it. We need your help.
You have to be your brother's keeper.
We have to. And it's a criminal offense if you fail to. So
just
again,
a reminder.
If you see something,
yes,
it's a criminal offense if you fail to. Right? So please,
Inspector,
if you see something, say something.
See something, say something. Thank you so much for joining us
on the screen, guys. If you see
thank you so much for
something,
joining us this morning,
Our
Inspector.
pleasure.
Of course,
Good to
all the
be here.
numbers right here on the screen, so you can definitely write them down and keep them safe in your phone, so that if anything, you can call the TTPS at a moment's notice. Thank you so much again for joining us this morning, Inspector Michelle Lewis.
Our pleasure to be here.
See you again next week, God's willing.
God's will.
All right, guys, we take a quick break and come back with your birthday shouts on the Now Morning Show. Stay tuned.
All around.